Please welcome director Josh Cooley.
Hello.
Hold on. Yeah, here we go. Welcome director Josh Cooley, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Josh, Sadie from Liberty School, she's in 5th grade. She wants to know how long did it take to make the movie?
Oh, wow. I started this movie. What was her name again?
Sadie.
Sadie, I started, you're over there? Sadie, I started this movie when you were in kindergarten. No joke. I was on it for almost 5 years. Yes.
Jade from 5th grade from Clarence Ruth wants to know, will there be a Toy Story 5?
Yes. When I say yes, I don't mean yes. I mean I know what you're asking. I don't know. I'm not in charge of those decisions. But, you know, we didn't think there would be a Toy Story 2. So it could happen.
But what do you guys think? Do you want to see a Toy Story 5? Marshall.
We'll think about it.
Marshall from 6th grade, Isla Vista Elementary, wants to know what inspired you to make the Toy Story series?
You know, that's a great question. A couple things inspired us. The one being that we look at Woody and the toys kind of like a parent, because their job is to be there for their kid, which is kind of like what your parents do. So we always think of them as adults like that. And the other thing is that haven't we all thought our toys are alive when we leave the room? Well, there you go.
Sienna, 5th grade, from Clarence Ruth, wants to know which character do you identify with the most?
Probably Forky, because there are certain times when I'm like, what is going on? I'm just confused a lot, so.
Abraham, Louise, Aiden, Alexa from Ontiveros want to know, where did the idea of the character of Forky come from?
Wow, what a segue. You know, we were joking around in our story room one day and talking about what it means to be a toy. And then I was talking about my kids who are 11 and 8 and how I saw them just pick up a rock and pretend like it was a truck or something like that. And we joked, well, does that mean the rock is alive in Toy Story world? And we thought, well, why not? Why not have something that's not a toy become a toy, and that thing has never seen Toy Story 1, 2, or 3, so it doesn't understand any of the rules of the world. So that just felt like a lot of fun and something we'd never done before. So that's where Forky came from.
They like
wow.
that. Denise, she's a 5th grader from Liberty, wants to know, was it difficult to think of new characters?
No, it actually was probably the most fun I had on the film, was thinking of things that we'd never thought of before, and also just looking to where toys exist, like that, like the carnival, for example. There's toys at carnival. Every carnival, there's always toys, but we'd never seen that before on screen. And we thought about carnival toys and how they have the worst existence out of any toy because they're just hanging there. And kids are trying to get them, but they are never going to win those games. So it just felt like a fun way to approach toys.
Alexandra, 5th grade from Clarence Ruth School. How did you find the actors to be the voices in Toy Story 4?
Well, a lot of them were already cast from the previous movies, like Tom Hanks and Tim Allen. But like Ducky and Bunny, I'll take for example. I knew that these two needed to be really close and really funny, and so I immediately thought of Keegan, Michael Key, and Jordan Peele. Those guys have worked together for a long time, and they're just hilarious. So, and I wanted to work with them, so I hired them.
Mrs. Brasso's 6th grade class from Hapgood have 2 questions. One, what was the hardest part of making the movie?
Oh, the hardest part. The cat. Well, actually, the antique store was really hard because.
Oh, hold on a second, because we.
Oh yeah. There's one last little bit here. I want you guys to see. Do we have sound?
Yeah. There's going to be sound. Oh, there we go.
Yes.
He got his high five.
So, going back to Miss Rasso's sixth grade class, what was the hardest part of making the movie?
So the hardest part, I remember at the very beginning, they weren't even sure if we'd be able to put that store in the movie because there was just so much stuff in it. And so the computer geniuses, I don't even know how they do what they do, they were able to make that store. It has over 10,000 items in that store. And each one of those items had to be placed by a person to make it look like it's been in that store forever. So that was very hard to do.
And they have a follow-up question. What was your favorite scene to make?
Plush Rush. You guys know which one I'm talking about? So Plush Rush is where Ducky and Bunny jump on the old lady's face. That was really fun.
And what made it fun?
It was the first time, well, first of all, I wanted to trick the audience into thinking it was really happening. And then we've never seen anything like that in Toy Story. And only those characters could do it because they're such crazy characters.
Giovanni from 5th grade from Liberty wants to know, what were you like as a 5th grader?
I think I was a goofy 5th grader. I remember just being, like, having a good time and making my friends laugh. I think I was kind of a little bit of a class clown. And that hasn't stopped.
Lisa, 5th grade from Clarence Ruth School. What was your dream job when you were younger?
My dream job when I was younger was working in animation. This is always something I wanted to do. I love drawing, and if you guys ever want to work in any kind of movies or anything, just draw. Drawing is the most important thing you can do. But this kind of is my dream job, and I was so lucky I was able to do it.
I think it's a follow-up question. Estrella, 5th grade from Fairlawn. How did you get started in the film business?
I went to an art school because I wanted to work in animation, and so I learned how to draw better in art school, and I was able to get a job out of art school at Pixar as an intern.
And what advice would you give to them?
The advice I would give is if you want to work in film or animation, just I can't say this enough, draw. It doesn't matter if you're working on a computer, it doesn't matter what medium you're working in, drawing is the most important thing. It's getting your ideas onto paper and visual so that other people can understand them.
Irandi, 5th grade from Liberty. How did you learn to direct?
I worked with a lot of directors over the years. I've been at Pixar for 16 years, and so I worked on The Incredibles, Cars, Ratatouille, Up, Brave, WALL-E, Cars 2, Inside Out, and Toy Story 4. So I've worked with a lot of directors, and I learned a lot from them.
And she has a follow-up question. What was the first movie that you made?
The first movie I worked on was the very first Cars movie with Lightning McQueen.
Oh.
Wow, thank you. Wow.
And And she also wants to know, what was it like?
It was a lot of fun. It was totally new, and I have a soft spot in my heart for that film because it was the first thing I ever worked on.
And Myra, 5th grade on Tiberos, wants to know, can you tell us some of the Easter eggs in the film?
Oh, good question. There's a lot of them. Inside that store, there is an object from every single Pixar movie that's for sale in that store. For example, Bing Bong's rocket from Inside Out is for sale in there. And there's a Monsters, Inc. Scream canister that's for sale as well. I can't even remember them all now. You'll have to pause it on Disney Plus.
And Jonathan, the last question, Jonathan, 5th grade from Fairlawn. What made you want to do this movie?
That's the biggest question. Well, I love Toy Story. I never worked on the other 3. I love the characters. I love the world. I have a huge toy collection. My parents own a toy store, believe it or not. And I love the characters so much, and I love Woody and Bo together. And so I based their relationship on the relationship I have with my wife. And so that was my connection to the film.
And you guys, do you know that he's Oscar nominated for this movie?
What?
So let's give him a big warm applause and thank him for being here.
Thank you.
And do you guys want to see a Toy Story 5? Toy Story 5! Toy Story 5! Thank you, guys.
No pressure.
Can we?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, we're going to take a photo of you guys and him. So if you guys can make a big, raise your hands and scream real loud. Thank you, guys.